Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am finally done with Wringer. Also, happy 4th of July, happy birthday America. We love you and we appreciate you. Thank you for everything. Um, so, let's go ahead and jump into Wringer, which, to be fair, I read this book when I was little, so this is my favorite childhood book. It's one of the very first books I've read from start to finish. And like I said, I was an advanced reader, so I knew what I was reading about. I This book was also one of my, I guess you could say, I had my librarian test me on this book. She just asked me specific questions about the book, like who are the main characters, where is the setting, how old is the character, what did I learn, and what was the whole overall of the story. And I would tell her from, like, I would give her all the answers, and she'll stare at me and go, okay, you actually know what you're reading about. And then after second grade, like I said, I wasn't much into reading those years because I was told to read because I have to read, not because I want to read or for fun or anything. So I stopped reading. Reading just went right out of my my interest until I got into middle school. Middle school I picked up a little bit of reading, but there were some books in middle school that hold dearly to my heart. This one held dearly for elementary. Then when I got into high school, I got back into reading, and this book came right back into my life, so I'm like, yay! So now I officially own the book. This is a hand-me-down book that I got from a book fair. So I'm like, yay, I'm so happy. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So let's start with the main character. The main character is Palmer. Palmer is an 8-year-old boy who turns 9, and at 9 years old, he wants to be with the cool kids. He wants to be with the cool crowd because those 9-year-olds, they're in his eyes, they're seen as the popular kids, and they run the town, I guess you could say. And when I mean run the town, they don't actually run the town. They just do things that are not typically appropriate for kids to do, but nobody really does anything, and they're just like, yeah, they're just kids being kids. And then after his 9th birthday, he's hanging out with those kids more and more to where they tell him, yeah, since you're part of our crew, you're going to become a ringer when you turn 10. And when Palmer hears this, he looks at them and goes, yeah, I'm going to be a ringer. I'm going to kill pigeons. But behind closed doors, he doesn't want to. He doesn't really see it as necessary, even though it's just for sport. He still doesn't like it because it's like why are we doing that? Why are we killing pigeons? It doesn't make any sense. And he starts asking questions, and he's trying to be careful because in his eyes, he lives in a town that kills pigeons. So he's trying to be wary on how to ask these questions and not make it seem like he's the odd one out, when in reality he is the odd one out, but he's not the only one. But he doesn't see it that way because he's a boy and he's turning 10. He needs to become a ringer because everybody else is a ringer. But he doesn't want to. He just doesn't feel comfortable doing it. So fast forward to his 10th birthday. He ends up adopting a pigeon that he calls Nipper. And with this pigeon, he loves this pigeon to death. He protects this pigeon. He feeds him. He takes care of him until when it comes to May, and Nipper is starting to become, he basically homes himself in to where he belongs, and he can recognize Palmer. So Palmer, at this point, he's trying to hide himself because Nipper did land on his head in front of the guys, and his friends, who are eagerly ready to become ringers. They see this and they look at him and they're already suspicious of him. But he thinks that he can just pull him off and not be suspicious, but no matter what he does, they already suspect him that he has a pet pigeon. And so when Palmer basically, when they take Palmer to go get his birthday beaties, he tells everyone, no, I don't want my birthday beaties. I don't want to be part of the crew. I'm leaving. And his friends look at him and they start not threatening him, but they start yelling at him and saying that, yeah, when we find you, we're going to kill your pigeon. We're going to wring your pigeon's neck. And it's just like, whoa. So yeah, this book can become dark in some cases, but also it's really a learning lesson for younger kids, because for somebody that wanted to fit in and couldn't really fit in, it's just more of like, to me, this book is my comfort read. If I'm feeling down and out, I will turn back to this book and just read it, because it makes me feel like I'm not alone, you know? I can, even at this day and age where I'm an adult and I can just read whatever I want, this book will always bring me back to, like, you know what? It's okay. I can be different than society. I don't have to do what society tells me to do. And not everybody does. What I really do like about this book is the ending, because he reunites with Nipper. And his dad tells him, like, yeah, you can have him as a pet. And that's what I like about this book, too, is that the parents, even though they know something's up and he's trying to hide it, you can't hide anything from your parents. Your parents will find out sooner or later. But with his parents, they find out that he has a pet pigeon, but they don't say anything. They actually help him take care of his pigeon, where they clean up little messes here and there. They replace, like, Nipper's food, like cereal and stuff like that. And they just make sure that Nipper and Palmer have everything that they both need, to where when Palmer tells his mom, I have a pigeon, she tells him, I know you do. Your dad and I found out. And he's like, what? And she goes, yeah, didn't you notice that you would have cereals replaced in your closet? Like, you really think that I wouldn't notice? And he goes, honestly, I did. I really did think you were gonna notice. And it's just a really good, it's just a really cute story. I love this book. But that's all I have for Wringer. If you are interested in this book, I suggest you read it. It's such a really good book, and it's really short too. This book is, I want to say, let's see. Yep, 228 pages. So this one is really short. Another thing cool that I like about this book is that you have little news feed from, like, so this story, it's not based on a true story, but it is realistic fiction. The town that Palmer is from, they actually do this. And, yeah, it just tells you that. And then it gives you the first half of it, too, on, let's see, right here. So this one, too. And, yeah, this book, I love this book. This book is one of my favorite reads. So, with that being said, I suggest you read Wringer. Hope you enjoy it. And if you do read it, let me know. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Happy 4th of July.